Obama.
Hello, everyone. Today we are here to explore the moon. My name is Jaeden, and this is Justin,
Saw, dude.
and this is Ryan.
Sorry.
There's Ryan. Today,
You want something?
Justin, what are we talking about today?
We're gonna talk about Star Wars Legends, but it actually used to be called the Expanded Universe.
Great.
But I mean, who cares?
I mean,
Whatever.
it just is. It's
Disney
same,
just likes to rename stuff.
same.
But hey,
It's
I
how
gotta.
it be.
Simplify it. We'd like to apologize upon the first episode. This is the official first episode. The one before this does not count whatsoever. Do we agree on that?
We'll
It's
we'll
like our
post it,
first our
but
legend.
it
It's like our
wasn't.
legend. It's our
It's
legend.
it's like our Legends.
It's our expanded universe. The roots that set this.
The
Yeah, we,
unfortunate
it
roots.
was it was an interesting idea, guys.
It's
But
it's
like
it's
I don't
it's
know.
the
It
it's
was
the
my idea. It did not go well.
it's the theatrical release of Blade Runner.
Jaden, shut up about Blade Runner.
um,
All
Ryan,
right.
got a question for us?
I do. What do you think the pros and cons are of either potentially not just reintroducing the Knights of the Old Republic, but just the Knights of the Old Republic in general? What are the pros and cons of that era, the way it's viewed, especially considering the release of a new era that Disney's putting out, the High Republic?
Pros. The top one is Revan. I'm sorry, that just us. The top pro is us.
Yes, we are ripping.
Every single one of us. Revan's not even on that poster. It's Malik, Bastila,
HK.
HK.
Even I know that's HK, and I haven't even like played the game.
I haven't finished it. Justin's the only one that's finished it.
Yep.
Basil looks so different in that poster.
I know it's like the game graphics don't do it justice.
No, the game
They're still like pretty okay, honestly, but you know,
for the old Xbox.
yeah.
Okay, hear me out because I'm confused about so many things. Because from what I know of the Old Republic is mostly stuff I had in a book and like the cinematics, because the cinematics were mind blowing and amazing, and everyone loved them,
Oh
right?
yeah,
But
for
hear me out
sure.
because this is gonna sound like a really dumb question. But is Bastila Shan the one in like the first cinematic with like, and then
No,
she's like blocking the lightsaber, or is that like the one like her
that
grandchild or the
yeah, that's like
daughter, or
her.
I
That's
don't know
like
what it is.
Bastila and Revan's like. I think on like we can get into this about legends and how there's so many different things that happened and people have written and shown that aren't don't line up, but I from what I know, from what I've read, Satil Shawn, her name is Satil Shawn in the trailer, and she is a distant or
Okay.
some sort of descendant of Bastila and Revan. I don't think she's like
What's the
the daughter, but she might be like a granddaughter
I
or
mean,
great granddaughter or
because
something.
like
daughter
just
of
like you
Revan?
watch that like in the intro cinematic, and that's what like draws so many people
Well,
to the idea of the Old Republic.
you put all the cinematics of the old Republic together. It's like a movie in and of itself.
They're amazing.
They are
That's what
amazing.
makes me want there to be, just with how well they did on them. I want them to make those into a movie, like a trilogy, even.
But see, that's where the High Republic comes in. Like, what are they gonna do with the High Republic?
Well, they're different times.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's a big like difference between those two like area gaps. Now, question, because I'm not aware of this. What's the storyline for SWTOR and the storyline for KOTOR? What is the year difference on that?
Um, I don't know the exact number. I know
I did
KOTOR
not know
1. I
those
know
were even
KOTOR 2
separate
takes
games.
place a couple years, maybe even like 20 or like in the tens years after KOTOR 2. If anyone watches this and we post this, just comment if you know, because I don't know the exact year, but like,
Going under the assumption that we have approximately 10 million listeners, tell us.
oh yeah, yeah,
Ten
like
million.
I consider myself a KOTOR enthusiast, but I don't
I'm
know
I'm
everything.
I'm sharing this with my family, and that's it.
Okay, Jaden, the minute you said
Yeah.
that, it got uncool.
My mom's gonna be so proud of this podcast.
She's like, yes, honey, nice, good job.
Good
on
job,
your,
Jaeden.
your pod talk.
Pod.
So I'm pretty sure KOTOR 2 it takes place a couple years after because they talk about Revan and the events from KOTOR 2 are affected by what Revan has done, not in KOTOR 1, but what he has done anyway. I don't
Okay,
want to
my
spoil.
question is Star Wars: The Old Republic, is that different than Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, it is. And again, there's some really weird like I said, there's some really weird like things that are odd because
Inconsistencies.
yeah, because there was a DLC for Old Republic where Revan came back to life, but it was like really odd. Like I don't maybe it's not odd. I didn't play it and I don't know the full extent of it from what I've watched and read. It is pretty odd. He pretty much like a good version of him is there and like a bad version of him is there. And it's just and it's like some weird I had like essence thing. I don't know, like he's like here and he's like I don't remember what he's trying to do. And there's like also a good Revan or something. I'm not sure, but I just know that there's some really weird things that I don't understand and maybe don't like as much as I do just the regular KOTOR story. So
That's why I think it. For one thing, like just all those little inconsistencies about, I think that'd be the reason that it'd be cool to go and like re-explore that universe. Because I mean,
but
that's one
that's
of
the
the
thing, though.
arguments about the extended universe is that it was so messy, which is maybe not so much of a bad thing that it was kind of scrapped. I don't think they should scrap it completely, but I
oh
think
yeah.
that like going and revisiting it and like getting a solid like actual foundation and like continual plot throughout the entire all of them, I think it'd be really cool and make sure that it's like at least
I
consistent, like you're
I
talking
feel
about.
I feel like the stories need to be told
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's so cool. My gosh.
Which I guess my theory is that Disney is not touching Old Republic because maybe they're planning to just bring it back in a way that keeps it the way it already was so they don't need to spend their time like rewriting stuff. But
Well, I think
that's one, or the second theory is that they're just scared to touch it, so they just decided to
well
do this
exactly
their own
because
thing.
a lot of the group of fans that love the Old Republic and want them to do anything with it are a lot of the fans that feel kind of alienated right now with like just their opinions about the Rise of Skywalker, the Last Jedi, just the sequels and the new stuff they've been putting out anyways. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
for
they're
sure.
very hesitant to touch it because the people who would really, really be pushing for that are the people that they are already on the verge of losing.
Yeah. I think I heard this somewhere again. Like, there's different sources, and I don't know if it was real or not. I don't want to like be preaching things that about Star Wars that maybe aren't true, but I think I heard George say at one point that he never said the expanded universe was canon. He never outright said that.
I know,
But
I've heard that too.
yeah, but he picked things from there to put in his own headcanon. So he was just like us, he picked things he liked and put them in his headcanon, which I think is interesting, but he never said they're canon or he never said they're not canon. And obviously like Dave and other people that worked on Lucasfilm at the time would take ideas from Legends and put it in Clone Wars, and put it in Force Unleashed or Commandos,
Well,
and
here's the thing, though. Slowly and slowly, we've been getting more and more of the Old Republic in modern Star Wars like content, like the Mandalorian Wars for one in Mandalorian.
Mandalore the Great, or was it the Ultimate that they referenced? I can't remember.
And
it's the
and
great. They said the great.
and the name, well, we can assume it is Revan, but the name Revan is one of the Final Order legions. So
Yeah, so
could
like the lore
assume
and
that
the
it's like,
character isn't there, but his name is there, which I don't think they would mess with it. Like, sure, like people might say, oh, they've messed with crap with Star Wars before, but I think they've seen the reception that comes from that, so they probably wouldn't mess with Revan too much.
That's the
I
other
think
thing.
that they should just go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, that's what worries me about the High Republic stuff is that I know it's going to be good, and I know I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to look into that a lot, but that feels like kind of kicking like dirt in the Old Republic's like eye. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. That's just kind of the way I interpret it because when the whole what was it called? Like Project Starlight or something like that?
Mm, is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was that?
It was the announcement for the High Republic stuff.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I just like I was hearing the rumors and stuff with all this High Republic stuff, but I don't know because I don't feel like I don't know. Disney is kind of abandoning it, is the way I feel.
I don't
But
know if they're abandoning it.
I really hope they don't, because I mean, it is allegedly reported that there is a KOTOR game in the works at EA, and we know that with all the recent releases of Star Wars games like Fallen Order being canon, so would them releasing that new game canonize the Old Republic stuff?
Maybe, but
And if
you
so, how
know,
much of it?
yeah, like what's interesting to me is that, on my screen right now, the Old Republic game, has it been shut down? No.
Not at all.
Is it published by EA? Yeah. Does EA run all the Star Wars games? Yeah. Is EA close with Disney about their Star Wars projects? Yeah.
Yeah.
So why is this game still up? If they were going to abandon the Old Republic, why would they not
Yeah.
have ditched this game already? And it's
Yes.
been out for so long. Like
Like
I feel like
2003, right?
yeah, and like I was as a kid I played Clone Wars. I played the crap out of Clone Wars Adventures. If anyone's listening to this podcast and you're a Clone Wars Adventures fan, please comment something because dude, it was
What were
so
those again?
fun.
Did you ever play like Club Penguin? It was like a Club Penguin for Star Wars Clone Wars.
I played all
Yeah.
like the Lego ones. Did you ever play those?
No, dude, I was a Club Penguin man, dude. I freaking fricked it up on Club
No,
Penguin.
like the Lego Star Wars games on the website when like the Star Wars website used to be cool, and you could watch all the Clone Wars episodes on it.
No,
Dude.
I don't
Dang,
think
I always watched Clone Wars on Cartoon Network.
I never had Cartoon Network, so my brother and I watched them on the laptop because they
That's
used to all
awesome.
be on the website.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to get off topic, but like Clone Wars Adventures was out for a couple years and it got shut down. But I don't know if it was. I don't know why it was shut down exactly, but I feel like some MMOs just eventually die out. There is an MMO, a really old one called Star Wars Galaxies, which I've heard was actually pretty insane and really ambitious. And
But
the things
Old
I've heard about
Republic
it
is
are
still
cool.
going.
Exactly. Like you would think like World of Warcraft has gone forever, but that's because it's
Well,
flipping World of Warcraft.
it's Blizzard too, and Blizzard has been so persistent on constantly updating World of Warcraft, and they kind of did that so much and filtered it so much to the point where like, okay, this isn't World of Warcraft anymore, and then Blizzard's solution to that was like World of Warcraft Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, but here's the thing: Old Republic has stayed the same and been able to last this long, which I think is extremely impressive.
Yeah, and
I
it
think we'll
just
eventually get something. They're just so
I
we can
agree.
talk about this like
agree.
all day, but there's just I will always go back to this. It's the marketing thing, and I don't want to put it all on Disney, but I feel like that's where a lot of the problem comes from.
Yeah.
It's just marketing, and everything's so hesitant with like, what do they put out? What should they not put out? And like based on fan reception, like it's why the whole Raylo thing happened. It's like I wasn't mad at that per se, but like everything's just so marketed versus telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Which I do kind of feel like Disney's having a lot of leadership change right now, and I think that maybe they're
Maybe
realizing
Dave
that.
Filoni, the president of Lucasfilm,
Yeah, exactly.
Bob Iger stepped down, and
he
then now
stepped
Bob
down.
Chapek.
Didn't he come back? I think he's coming back again.
Yeah.
No, Bob Iger is the executive chairman, so that's still like very high up, but he's not the CEO anymore. The CEO is Bob Chapek.
Okay,
Another
Yeah.
Bob.
another Bob.
By Bob.
Another
There
Bob for
was
another
actually a thing
day.
going on. Like side note, but this is just a little comment. There was actually a thing going around that the reason why Bob Iger stepped down was because he was going to run for president
Ooh.
Of the United States.
of the United States. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a true thing. And then
okay.
I kind of took that in consideration. I was like, wow, potentially Disney was going to run the U.S.
Oh
Oh
my gosh.
gosh. Not to get
Oh.
political, but I'd
Not-
vote for it.
Oh my god.
I'd vote for Bob Iger.
Considering some people in certain
Considering the
arenas,
current state,
I would not mind him.
I'd
I'm not
take
saying
this.
he'd be great, but
I'd take Mickey
have you
Mouse.
had a Disney churro?
We haven't had a Disney president, anyways.
A
Yeah.
Disney churro
Star
would make
Wars.
me very happy right now.
A churro sounds really good. I could really go for a ride on like Rise of the
Release the
Resistance.
recipes. Disney released all of their recipes online.
I know, dude. I tried the churros. Freaking
You
delicious.
did?
Yeah.
How hard was it to make it?
Not hard at all. I mean, yeah, you're frying it, so
Yeah,
if you don't have any experience in frying, then
I've done some frying stuff before. Sorry. Anyways,
I will say about the High Republic is that I think the High Republic is a way for the video they put out, and they showed all the different like authors and people that have worked on Star Wars just sitting on a table and coming up with ideas. To me, that was
at
cool.
the Skywalker cabin, right?
Yeah,
at the
and
Skywalker Ranch.
the
go
thing for
back
me
there?
is that it's a way for them to finally let people create stories that don't affect the plot of the Skywalker saga, which you could argue, yeah, just go back to Old Republic and tell more stories there. But again, I think they're kind of thinking there's already stories there. We don't want to mess with that. We just want to do our own stuff, which
Is
again,
respectable.
I'm a KOTOR enthusiast and
Which
Old
isn't
Republic guy.
which isn't a bad thing that they're doing that though.
No,
I
I'm
might
just-
have preferred Old Republic first, then High Republic, but again, like maybe maybe it's simultaneous. It's Disney. They got so many people. Maybe they're working on things they just haven't told us about.
my only thing is just mainly because I don't like. I'm just not a huge video. Like I play video games, but I'm just not a huge video gamer. So I'm the kind of person who would want them in movies anyways, just because that's
gamer type.
it's more how I experience Star Wars anyways. You know.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and it's understandable. And you asked I think Jaeden asked if KOTOR 3 would make them canon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because that's the thing. Because if EA is supposedly, allegedly, doing a KOTOR project, that's what I'm saying. Is that it's either going to be a remake of the first two games, or it's going to be a third one, which either one's gonna canonize the rest.
Here's okay. This is a slight subject change, but not really. I just think it's so weird that we're even having the conversation of like, is this canon? Which is such a weird thing to be talking about with like a fandom. But when you think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, just compare it to Marvel comics. Granted, Marvel's a lot older, so of course it's had a bunch of different. But I just think it's so interesting because all the expanded universe stuff is like don't take Marvel, take like DC or something like the New 52 versus the
Which
classic
is
originals.
great.
Like they're just different versions of the same story. The same characters, just
Yeah.
telling a different story. So I don't think the expanded universe not being the main story is a bad thing. Because Star Wars doesn't just exist on the big screen.
Yeah, for sure. I think the main like anger towards the whole idea of canon is like you said, it's interesting because it for me, like if it's not canon, that means stuff won't be made. That's what makes me sad about it, is that because Disney took over and because KOTOR is not canon in their eyes. They're not going to do anything with the character of Revan. And
which is quite possibly and arguably one of the best characters in Star Wars.
he's my favorite character if we're not talking
I just think there's
canon.
so much like backstory for so many characters that so many people are interested. I mean, not just
Take-
Revan.
Take the
Bastila,
KOTOR,
you know, like
yeah,
all
take
those
the KOTOR
Bastila,
crew.
Nihilus,
Malgus.
Bane,
Malgus.
Literally, you can name anyone that was in the KOTOR crew, like Canderous.
Mission. I love
Yeah,
Mission.
missions.
Zalbar.
Yeah, any of them. Freaking give us something talking about oh my god.
HK-47.
Oh my heck.
I
yeah.
want to see HK-47 like found
HK-47
in like
would give us droid
a show.
episodes that we cared about.
Like in Clone Wars, someone finds him like locked away and like crushed under this Sith pillar or something, and they pull him out and they like see all this crap that's up, and they're like, "Bruh, who is this guy?"
What I'm excited for in the Clone Wars potentially right now, this is once again a different subject change, but I heard from someone that, well, I actually saw it on Twitter somewhere saying that like there was a rumor that like, especially with the team that's working on Clone Wars right now, they were saying that don't worry guys, we're still
There
working
might
on
be
stuff.
more. Yeah,
Which
there might be
is
more.
so cool because especially because Clone Wars is an anthology. So yes, this story is showing the ending of the Clone Wars itself, but I think it's going to be so cool to go back and tell some stories that we haven't seen yet.
Like Boba Fett.
Exactly.
That unfinished stuff. I want to see that so bad.
Mandalorian, the boots.
The boots. Okay, I don't know if this is really spoilerish, but I did see an article saying that Boba Fett is rumored to be the villain of Mandalorian season 2.
Dude, okay.
The
I am
boots.
90% sure that is Boba. The little like radio sound that happens when he first walks up is the same as when he comes out in A New Hope. It's the exact same.
Did you just say A New Hope?
New Hope.
I said A New Hope.
It's the Empire, you frick.
No. In the when Han talks to Jabba in A New Hope by the ship, Boba Fett walks out and that radio sound plays.
I stand.
Oh yeah.
And then the Spurs and Empire are the same.
But here's the thing, though. At the time when we watched the episode, we were all thinking, "Oh, this is gonna come back in a later episode." But the interesting thing is that it didn't.
So you would kind of assume maybe that was Moff Gideon, but I think that's because for one thing, it's not Moff Gideon.
It's
because
not
look
Moff
at the
Gideon.
boots; they're not his boots. But look at the silhouette and the cape; it's not his.
It has to be Boba.
And why would they not show their face?
It's the Mandalorian, but I just so want it to be. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? Why can I not remember his name?
I know who you're talking about.
The kid who plays Boba Fett.
Oh,
not a kid though.
Oh, we took a picture with him.
You took a picture with him. You gotta meet the guy.
Daniel Logan.
Yes, I so want it to be him. He would do so good. I guess he would be older enough now that it might.
Maybe he can't do the talking part, but he put him in the suit. Let him be the guy in the suit at least, if anything.
That'd be so cool.
I feel like Dave Filoni would be so down with that.
He had someone make him a like replica Boba Fett costume. He had a whole Instagram thing, like about it. And he like had someone like make it for him and stuff. It's perfect. Like, I guess that's him younger.
He just looks the part.
Like he looks like Django. He looks like a young Django. He looks like a clone. It's so good.
It fits perfectly.
It's so good, man.
Gosh.
Like look at this. Like
look at the resemblance.
Shave his beard and make his hair a little shorter, and it's like the same. Put some scarring on his face, and it's Django or it's Boba, you know.
It's the clone, yeah.
You're the clone.
Oh, we did get off track.
Wow,
We
Uh,
did, didn't we?
so,
that's
what,
that's what it's all about.
yeah, that's what
Touch on more subjects. Take him out.
just
Pew pew pew.
checking boxes, taking names.
I just want them to. There's just so many stories I just want them to tell.
I know, man. And it's like I was saying with the canon stuff, they're not gonna tell stories if the character's not canon. But again, if they're gonna tell us, if they're like, they could be working on a Revan story right now, and then that would make him canon.
I
But
want
again, it wouldn't make
Nihilist
his other
comics.
stuff. Yeah,
You want
I
what?
want Old Republic comics. The
Why
day we
isn't
get
yeah?
Old Republic comics,
Why isn't that already a thing? Is my question.
for one thing, I want those Son of Dathomir comics. Bad.
yeah,
Oh.
they sound cool. They sound way cool.
Darth Maul freaking capturing Count Dooku.
Hmm.
I want to see that.
And Gar Saxon rescues Maul from Palpatine. You know.
Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say?
I don't know, Jaden. What were you gonna say?
I don't know, but it was something very good that was gonna spark up like a ton of uproar and conversation.
Um.
I'm really
Uh.
out to that, which really sucks.
Babu, babu, babu.
I do say this a lot, but I
Good.
think, like I was saying earlier. Wow. Okay, never mind. With the idea of like things not lining up in the Old Republic because it's kind of fan fiction in a way. Like even maybe Lucasfilm like
This
had
isn't the
influence on
cursed
some
child.
things, but it like there are some things in Legends that are fan fiction pretty much, and they mess with other things in expanded or even with the Skywalker saga in general. That's like okay, but I think wiping it clean was good, but they didn't bring enough back like to fill in. Like why is Republic Commando not canon?
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say something about that. I just say that Republic Commando is canon because it doesn't do anything.
Exactly. I was
And
about to say that as
and
well.
we know the Delta Squad is literally in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
see them.
yeah. So the thing is that I'm just like I no, like I don't care what anyone says about that. It's canon solely because the fact that it doesn't do any harm.
But the thing about that though is that with it I don't know if it is canon or not. Like I'm pretty sure it's not right now, but the problem with it not being canon is that they're not going to think about making Delta Squad stories. Like the sequel probably would have been made by now cuz I mean,
Oh, most definitely.
EA's got control of so many different companies,
Rest in
just
peace,
pick
LucasArts, man.
yeah, pick one and be like, "Hey, make a Republic Commando sequel." And that's it. But
Poor
they haven't done
LucasArts.
that because apparently it's not canon, which is dumb.
I thought you were getting emotional, but you were just
No,
thinking for a
I
second.
had a hiccup. Sorry.
He
I
was
was
gonna.
just like, wow, Justin, I didn't.
Justin's very
I would
passionate.
get emotional
I
about
knew
it
you
though
were
because I
passionate.
love Republic Commando. It's
I mean,
so good.
It's such a good game, and it's just a good, fun game.
And
Like
the mechanics are anyway, we could talk, I don't
we
know.
could talk about Republic Commando some other time.
Another one to talk about is freaking Force Unleashed, which I have a lot of things to say
I have
about.
a
there's
lot
a
to
lot
say.
of things,
I have a lot.
good and bad to say about that game.
To
Okay.
continue our conversation on non-canon stuff and
Um.
video games.
I'm just before we talk about Force Unleashed, I've said this in front of you guys before, and it probably gets annoying. And whoever watches this, which is gonna be
500 million people,
hopefully,
Oh,
yeah.
sure. Yeah, man.
half the population of Earth.
See, if we were the entire population of Africa is gonna watch this. If we were to talk about, which we are talking about, Force Unleashed. I've said it before in front of you guys, and I don't know if it's gonna make anyone angry because I don't know who's gonna watch this, but I, from the beginning, have not been a fan of Force Unleashed.
I like the story because once again, I played the game but then I read the comics, and then I fell in love with the comics and the story there. You know,
Yeah,
granted, the force powers there might be a little bit over the top,
Overkill.
overkill, definitely overkill.
Definitely
But
overkill.
I, I don't know. I mean, I guess that was kind of the point of the character, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's still
yeah.
such cool characters that like we just don't get to see.
Freaking Star
The
Killer.
the thing I'll say is, like, I mean, Jaden, it's fine. Like, I don't like it's your opinion. Like, who cares? And
If anyone gets mad at that, I'm sorry for Jaden having an opinion that you don't
yeah, I'm
agree
sorry
on.
that he's a human being.
I'm sorry that we have different
Like
feelings about.
I'm perfectly willing to talk about Force Unleashed, but that's just the way I felt about it. I just was like so mad with it.
Yeah, I told Ryan this. I got introduced to it because my cousin was playing it in his basement. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. But he was playing the second game. So I bought the second one. I thought, yeah, that was fun. And then I bought the first one, and the first one's way longer, and he only has one lightsaber. But yeah, it's a game called The Force Unleashed, and it's supposed to make you feel overpowered.
And it's a beat 'em up. So
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
in a beat 'em up, no matter what beat 'em up you're playing, there's gonna be exaggerated powers. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean I personally prefer Fallen Order
Oh,
just
any day.
because, and
But
I
we
played on Grandmaster today and I kept dying and got mad, but like I just prefer that kind of combat. But I still thought Force Unleashed was cool. Like it's still cool and it's fun to just go ham with the Force.
we
But it's
do
also like
Also, hunting down the Jedi and stuff.
yeah,
That was
man.
fun. It was
Yeah.
fun.
and
That
Except,
one dude with the spider legs is the
yeah,
worst.
I just fought that
I
guy
hate him.
again.
He's so
Replaying that.
um
Force. What I recently just did, which turned the game even into more of a god mode, is I looked up the cheats for the game and turned on god mode,
oh no.
which meant that I can't die and my force is unlimited. So I just
No
walked
way.
in and killed the guy after like 4 hits.
no.
Get wrecked.
So yeah, but also the skins in that are full of just legends. Like you can play as like
Yeah.
Darth Phobos. That's the thing though. Like you have the older public characters in a new. Can we talk about that? Like the forces of no, that's not what it's called. That's not what it is. The new video game, like the mobile game.
Oh,
Jaden, you play it,
Galaxy of
right?
Heroes.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have older public heroes
You do. You
in
have
that
literally
game.
the entire KOTOR crew.
I'm
You
trying
have
to get Jedi
this
Knight
is
Revan right
War.
now. Like I'm trying to get Jedi Knight Revan right now.
Like that's so cool because they know it exists and they are acknowledging it.
Yeah, I watched the video when they were releasing Revan and they were talking about him. They're like, yeah, maybe he's not canon, but he's still a cool character and people like him, so we want him in the game. And it's such a love letter to the KOTOR games because the event you play to get him is like little like bits of nostalgia for the game, and it's
It
just so
literally you're literally fighting in the arena
yeah,
from
it's so
Terrace. It's awesome.
yeah. But the thing about Starkiller, man, is that I love his character, but there's this interesting thing in the Star Wars fandom about like who's more powerful than who, and it's weird to like it's kind of you kind of get on your own high ground or high place um, of
I
thinking
see what
that
you did there.
Hilarious.
Anakin should be the most powerful, which I do think, yeah, but like
But
I
it's not
think
about
Starkiller was
power.
a
It's
little
about
over the
purpose.
top.
I think.
Well, Starkiller isn't canon because he kind of fricked up Luke Skywalker, but
Well, yeah, but that I mean, in the Revenge of the Sith video game, there's an alternate ending where you kill Obi-Wan and then you kill the Emperor and you become like just
Emperor or
yeah,
Vader.
which which fun fact
And it
was
is your new empire.
that video game is very interesting and it's a good game, but I find it so weird that it was released before the movie.
was it?
It was, yeah. Look up the release date. Wait, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Okay, you got it.
What is that? Is that before? It's on May 4th.
Oh ho ho.
Oh my gosh. What?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. And I've always thought that was the weirdest thing.
Oh, people are gonna take too long to play this game, so they'll see the movie before it's over.
The game's not that long.
So wait, I'm trying to remember if you can kill Obi-Wan or die.
You can die.
What? Did they put two endings just so you wouldn't know?
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know.
Okay, but that's
You
the point of the
need that's
prequels.
that's the
what
thing.
happens.
You know what's the point of the prequels is you know what happens the entire time.
Maybe that's the
Anakin becomes
mentality.
Darth
They just,
Vader.
dude, they just really wanted to release it on
Obi-Wan
May
stays
4th. They're like,
alive.
we have to release it on May 4th.
The movie just hadn't been like completed yet. They're like, oh, we could have released the movie.
It has to be on May 4th, man.
Mhm.
Jeez. You know, I feel bad for Sam Witwer because he loves Starkiller. Like, I mean, literally his face is Starkiller face, and he was with that character for so long and did so much work with him that I feel bad that he's not canon. But I feel like they should bring him back in a less powerful way. I like the idea of Vader having a secret apprentice. Like, I like that idea, but him being broken is a little, I don't know. I don't know.
The story
Please,
is really cool.
please
and I
nerf
think they could retell it.
Starkiller.
I think they could, especially after Fallen Order, like writing the story in the other direction of a Sith rising up that way.
a sequel.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be
Oh,
such
that
a
would
cool
be
way to
sick.
retell that character?
That's how
Put.
Cal dies. Starkiller kills him.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Vader's like, I don't want to kill him. You kill him. And he's like, okay.
We already know that we're getting a Fallen Order 2. If we
Yeah.
could you imagine?
Because
But
Galen
you know,
Merrick is a cool character.
they would have to put up a good fight though. Like it would have to be a sick balanced boss fight, but not just Starkiller comes in, force blasts him against a wall, throws his lightsabers. I don't know. Like
We do owe it to Force Unleashed for giving Darth Vader a sense of horror when he shows up.
you mean Fallen Order?
No, because I feel like Force Unleashed kind of started that.
Can we talk about Proxy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I thought you switched up the names. Okay. Yeah.
No, yeah, I totally feel like Force Unleashed was like the game and the thing that was like, okay, when Vader shows up, it's horror. Like the genre has switched to horror. And I mean, everyone knows when Darth Vader shows up in Fallen Order, that is horrifying. That's like
Yeah, it's
that's like
terrifying.
it's like scary.
Yeah, Force Unleashed, the first level you play in the first game is as
Is
Vader, and
Vader.
you pretty much have the same powers as Starkiller.
You're just going ham on all the Wookiees.
Yeah,
You just feel
you just
unstoppable.
go ham, and it feels cool. Like, man, I want to play as Vader in like
Because
a
you're not
cool
even
way.
running. You're just walking,
Yeah,
doing
you're
the
just
slow
doing
Vader, just destroying everything.
It's so
I want to
sick.
see Proxy in
And
the
yeah,
next. That I just the whole. It's just such a cool character story.
I
And I
want
want it to be
more.
put back in. The
I
whole thing
want
on Camino trying to recreate him as a clone.
yeah, that's a cool idea.
I want more content showing the events that took place between episode 3 and 4, and that is the reason why I love Fallen Order so much, because it's the perfect mix of
Yeah, exactly.
prequels, original, and even sequels.
But yeah, with that little Starkiller base tie-in, but
I loved that.
that's good. You
Star
know,
Wars based.
yeah, I think that like Force Unleashed, you you fight like I don't know if Vader has terror because you fight like playing as him feels awesome, which I want to have that experience again with some other game anyway. But when you fight him at the end of one or maybe or two and one, I guess I remember two better. But you pretty much beat him, which to me, I mean, again, back to that power thing. Like maybe it's just my own brain being like, oh, no one could be more powerful than Vader. But it's like he does like die if you choose a certain thing, but like, well, Vader doesn't die, but it's
Which is
just
like the
interesting
point
to
of the
me that
game, I guess.
you like beat Vader into submission so easily, and it's like, I don't know about that. But you fight on Camino, which is sick.
That's okay. I will admit that is
That
awesome.
the stuff on Camino made you feel so cool with like the Death Troopers and stuff. Before the Death Troopers were Death Troopers, you know, like those stealth
Yeah,
guys. Those guys
yeah.
were cool. Those guys were scary.
They are, man. They are scary. Which that's like the point. That's the phrase. Like if you were to tell someone what Force Unleashed is, you'd be like, it makes you feel cool. It makes you feel powerful.
It's supposed to be a cool game, not like a story. No, it did have a cool story, you know.
And so
So
again, I feel bad for Sam and all the work he put into that game, and now it's just like forgotten by Disney. But I think they should bring him back in a respectable way.
I think Disney has a problem with just scrapping so much old stuff where they could bring it back, and like so many fans would love that bringing it back. You know,
Also, let's
Yeah.
acknowledge how like the shock factor of both Force Unleashed games.
Like the power of Force lightning that
Mm,
he uses, or like just the.
Just like I felt like it was like a little. That was a horrible pun. First
I'm
of all,
sorry. I mean, it's pretty shocking. That
it
game
is
is.
a.
You really shocked those rebels, man.
And but yeah, like that's the thing. You're playing as a bad guy, and like you're killing like the heroes, which I felt like at the time was kind of a concept. I was a little like, what the heck?
Yeah.
you weren't just killing the heroes though with Starkiller. You were killing everyone
No, seriously, you were like it was a massacre.
because you weren't allowed to let the Empire see what you were. Because once again, you were Vader's secret apprentice, so you had to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you go kill Shock T, which again is maybe if whatever Clone Wars season 7 does with Shock T, if they do
She,
or
How
not,
does Shock T die?
then
we
I don't
This
don't.
know
is the
if you
one
can.
question like all of us have.
That I've
How does
asked
Shock T
about
die?
we don't. She's died like 5 different ways.
If she dies in the Clone Wars, I don't think you can bring the Force Unleashed games to canon because she wouldn't be alive. You'd have to
But she
do something
survived.
different. Yeah, you'd have to do something different, which I'd be pretty okay with.
Oh yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Which
I just want to see Galen Merrick's story of like the secret Vader
yeah,
apprentice,
it's cool, man.
especially going head to head against Cal. Oh,
Dude, if him, dude, I'm starting to think about this now. Holy crap, that'd be so awesome. And like the thing is, you guys had played both games, right?
yeah. Once again, I still just fell in love with those comics though, because they made Starkiller feel a little less OP for one thing, but
Yeah.
they also just like you don't get to see as much of the story in the video game. I feel like, and the comics
Mhm.
fleshed out more of the story
I
because
gotta
no,
read
they
those
didn't.
comics.
I should lend them to you sometime
Yeah, you should. Gotta read
because they're
them.
pretty dope.
But at the end of the first one, like you become I don't know if you become a Jedi, but Cal, like, not Cal,
Cow.
Starkiller kind of. Does he come back to the light? I mean, he
He
gets a
chooses
blue
the light.
lightsaber. He fights against Vader, but I don't know if that's for the good or just out of his own like anger or whatever. But it's interesting. And then of course you die at the end, and it's like okay. And then Force Unleashed 2 comes out, and it's like, bruh.
That was so cool though.
And the idea of in Force Unleashed 2 that it's really hard to make a clone of a Force user, or at least like having that clone have the Force, because why didn't Palpatine just clone Maul? Like that question comes up, like why not just clone Darth Maul, because he's so angry and he's just like the perfect Sith. He's
Or
just
why not make a bunch of Force sensitive clones to give the army of the Republic, and then turn those on the Jedi, then have a giant army of Sith? It explains all that,
yeah.
which I
And
thought was
like
cool and a necessary part of the Star Wars story.
and the rule of two factor comes in again, but like maybe that's something we could see. Like if they brought Old Republic back, we could finally get to see maybe a live action or a show that shows battles like other than the Old Republic cinematics, like showing battles between thousands of Jedi and Sith just going ham, like as if they're knights in a.
Because that visual with like just with all the Jedi in the Jedi Temple when that ship crashes in
Yeah.
that cinematic,
Oh my
and
god.
then all those lightsabers light up in the dark.
So
It's so
good.
cool.
It's so good.
Good.
I want to talk about this kind of off topic, but you talked about this one time, Ryan. A Order 66 like series or
An
anthology.
Order 66 series would be so cool.
An
Either
Order
each like
yeah.
episode is just a different perspective of a Jedi, which would be so sad because then like either every episode ends in death or they just barely survive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wouldn't really be a happy TV show, and it'd have to be TVMA.
I think it would have to be horror because once again, going back to Cal as running from the clones on that ship.
That no,
Imagine that
seriously,
live action running like terrified, some of them kids running
that's
from the phones.
that's horrifying.
I want to see that.
Like, it's heartbreaking and it's sad, but
I want to see
I
it.
want to see that. Yeah. Like, I want to see a live action thing telling of Kanan's whole like story.
Maybe
Oh, I
I
definitely want
hope
that.
we get to see at least something with him in season 7.
Yeah.
Maybe Ahsoka inadvertently saves him, and that's why him and that's why Hera and him are kind of, they know Fulcrum because Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's Fulcrum and freaking bruh, figured it out.
Yeah, Jaeden. You know what we talked about last night
What?
when I read the episode titles?
Oh my gosh.
Justin, I'm scared.
Justin, I'm so
Yeah,
scared.
don't tell me anything.
We're
I
not
wanna I
gonna
wanna be blown away.
We're not going to
not,
spoil anything,
it's
but let's just say we're frightened for the last 3 episodes.
the last 3 episodes are gonna be some of the best TV episodes just ever created.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know it's gonna be good. It's Dave.
Literally, Justin, it's just a few words. It literally is just a few words, but enough words to make you go like, "Are you kidding me?"
Man,
How?
I'm so excited. I'm also scared.
Now, the last
It's a weird
episode,
fear to
the
feel that
last
way.
the last episode is gonna leave people crying.
Oh, for sure. I cried in Fallen Order. Like,
I also watched the
I've-
clip of the next episode. You know, they put out the clips before the episode releases.
I didn't watch it. I
I
chose
watched
not
the
to
clip.
watch
I
it.
made the mistake of doing it. It didn't reveal much. It's exactly what I thought would happen,
Probably, yeah. I just don't want to watch
considering a certain member of the 501st. It wasn't that big of a
Yeah.
plot detail,
it.
but
Yep.
yeah.
Poor boy.
Also, I'm realizing that like Rex perpetually has stubble, which makes sense why he just grew a beard. Like Clone Wars over,
I
dog.
like Wolf's beard in Rebels. It's like a lamb chop thingamajig, little like mustache thing. And then there's Gregor.
Why is Gregor so weird in Rebels? Why is he so? Is
The
he
man
insane?
got
Blown up?
Yeah, he got blown up, man.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That might mess you up a little bit.
I don't know. I would think that would give you some brain damage.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm
Just
not an
small.
expert.
I mean, I don't know much, but what I do know.
What I do know is big boom, go big boom in brain.
Oh man. It's just I don't know. Let's see what else we got on the list for Old Republic stuff. Oh, the Jedi, the class, the different classes of the Jedi. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Remember Jedi Guardians and Jedi Sentinels and Consulars?
Remember how I just want to see like, because in the Old Republic, and I have like this Sith book that like talks about like the origin of the Sith. I want to see the origins of the Sith. But can we also talk about the Knights of the Eternal Throne?
Oh, it's so cool.
That would be such a cool story to tell again, because it's not Jedi, it's not Sith, but it's happening in that same theater. But it's
Yeah,
also telling the story of other Force users.
like the Zepho in Fallen Order. That's interesting stuff because they're Force users,
Oh,
but they're not
Zepho.
Jedi or Sith. They're like this kind of ancient, sort of monkish people that use the Force, but they're not Jedi Sith. They don't run around with lightsabers, but Cal kind of discovers things about them during the game, and it's really interesting.
It's such a good game.
So good, man.
Oh my heck.
I need to play it all the way through.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, the thing is that like from back in the old, in EU, the
Before
way
the dark times.
Before the dark side.
the way that they would describe how Sith made their kyber crystals was that the thing that stands out to me that I remember is that Sith synthesized red crystals. Like
Which
they
is
made
different,
them.
which is why some Jedi had red crystals, because they were just naturally occurring like every other Jedi crystal, versus the Sith crystals, which were like,
Correct.
created.
Yeah, which I do kind of like the idea that the new canon is that they kind of pour all of their hatred and anger into it and make it red, which they synthesize it in a way, but they steal another person's kyber crystal and then bleed into it and make it red, which I think is cool. It's pretty cool, but I again I don't know how to feel about it because
So angry.
That's my secret, Jaden. I'm always angry.
he's like picking up kyber crystals, turning them all red. I'm always
Jaden, you cut out. What was that?
you screamed so loud you cut out.
Just angrily picking up kyber crystals. Just like, oh gosh!
Okay, but you say angry Sith, and all I can ever picture is Darth Maul, just like screaming, Kenobi! And I would scream, but little do our viewers know, I guess listeners, but it is not bright and early in the morning like you would expect. It is currently 12:10.
Is that
Yeah,
is that like
it's midnight.
is that
It's
is that like a
definitely
normal
midnight.
thing that podcasts do? Is that they do it like in the morning?
I don't know. I feel like that's the general time. I gotta go get a charger. One sec.
Oh, great!
Sorry.
Get a charger.
I'll be back, my loves.
I doubt podcasts happen in the morning.
Do you
I would
podcast in the morning?
do I podcast in the morning?
Do you podcast in the morning?
Technically, it is the morning. So yes, we do
Morning.
podcast in the morning.
Podcast in the morning. Try it out in the morning.
I think most people do it during the day, but usually we're playing Apex or Sea of Thieves, so it's like
Something we're
what
playing.
can you do?
We don't have
No
much to
time.
do in quarantine, so we resorted to recording ourselves, our conversations that we have late at night.
Nick thought it'd be cool to like play and have a podcast, but like we couldn't focus that well. I don't think.
I was just about to say, I was like, I don't think I'd be able to pay attention.
And then Ryan doesn't have any way to play with us anyway, unless we played Minecraft, which is kind of relaxing. I don't know. It's relaxing most of the time.
But I have to be like focusing on the conversation.
I think we get better conversation anyway because
Once you're,
we're sitting here and we're thinking about the topics and stuff, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to like we're not screaming about another ship about to ram us in Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
Captain! Yeah?
Look!
I want to see that in Star Wars. Han? What? Look, and it's just
Captain
like 8 billion TIE
Solo!
fighters.
Yeah?
Look! It's the Death Star.
Astrofields start playing.
Dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum.
Pop up.
I want to hear Justin dubbing all of Star Wars music.
Just
I'm scared to re-edit this when I'm editing it because I have to hear myself do that again. I'm not
Sing,
excited
sing,
for that.
sing more on the podcast. Postcat? Postcat.
Let's name our podcast at the Lunar Exploration Podcast.
Postcat.
Podcast.
That's not even like a play on words of podcast. That's just a
It just
postcat.
sounds like you're saying puss, like puss,
Puss.
and cat.
Pusscat.
Doesn't-
Puss.
Not like a
Pusscat.
pussycat, I'm sorry.
Cad. Podcast. Sorry. Now I need to know the difference.
Cad Bane, am I right?
Hey, oh.
Can we switch topics and talk about
Darth
the
Malgus.
OG Boba and Jango?
Yeah. Let's get over
When
there.
they were actually Mandalorians. Man, freak. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Let's get over there.
Like this didn't Boba he became Mandalore, right? In the old EU, he became Mandalore.
I don't remember that being a thing, but maybe. I think it'd be weird if he was still a bounty hunter at that point.
Next.
But he survived the Sarlacc pit.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Dude, every time I search up stuff about Mandalorians now, it's all about the show. And while I love
Not
that,
a problem.
I'm a little frustrated because like I'm trying to look up other stuff about Mandalorians. It's like, hey, look at Din Djarin. Like, I don't need Din Djarin right now.
I love you, Pedro Pascal. Get off my internet browser.
Okay, I'm sorry. Throwing it out there. In the least. Actually, no, I don't want to. Pedro Pascal is hot.
I had a friend, and
You
I
heard
won't
that
say the
right,
name
Drew.
because Jaeden actually probably knows this person. But when they were like, I just wish he'd left the helmet on because he was hotter with the helmet on.
Bruh, what?
Please text me who that is, because I'm very curious now. Because I totally heard someone say that.
1 sec, I'll text you.
I don't wanna buy.
All right, where did this guy go?
Seriously, where did he go? Give us him. He might have been in the movies for like -2 seconds, but
I get the idea of like a lot of like so many Star Wars characters being brought to life, like Darth Maul, Palpatine, freaking whatever. But like he didn't get enough. He didn't get
And it's not
enough.
just that he didn't get enough. This guy wouldn't have died in the Sarlacc pit. That wouldn't have happened.
It takes so long to digest. Like, and he's got a freaking jetpack.
And a
we
flamethrower.
know he made it out of there though.
Where?
Doesn't it say that?
We don't know that for sure is the
I
thing.
don't know for
Ugh.
sure.
John Favreau, just make it canon.
There's a like a sequel comic where someone finds Boba Fett or like Mandalorian armor on a sandcrawler or something. And so my theory is that the person in the Mandalorian is not Boba Fett, but someone wearing his armor, which do I like that idea? Maybe, depends on how it goes. Would I rather it just be Boba Fett? Yeah.
I think that'd give it more of a
But
shot.
imagine, like, in season 3, when Boba Fett shows up, and then he's an ally with the Mandalorian instead of a villain because he's pissed off at the guy who stole his armor.
Them back to back shooting people. Oh, that would be sick.
That's what I was
That sounds like the dream.
Din Djarin and Boba Fett just chilling. Baby Yoda's force blasting people, and they're just like back to back going ham.
with Ahsoka and Rex at their sides.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. No.
How much further can we go?
How
I'm
many more
sorry,
characters?
but
The
I
Force
think
Ghost of Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mace Windu and Yoda. Qui-Gon Jinn's talking voice in the distance is just talking like Saruman. Never Jane wouldn't get this, but Saruman on the mountain going, and like causing rocks to fall and stuff.
gotta get me one of those.
I'll drink to that.
Oh man. I think
I have never.
we just created the new Star Wars content that needs to
Dave,
happen.
Dave Filoni, are you listening?
Get on it, Dave.
Get Jaeden to get some, Force Ghost green screening going on, and just
Okay,
he
you
can
know
just
what
be
I want actually?
forcing people.
I just texted Justin about this earlier today, but the original runtime for Revenge of the Sith was 4 hours. I want an extended edition Revenge of the Sith.
That'd be sick.
I want it. Give it to me. I want more. I
Are
know
you
I should.
Revenant?
More.
I want it. Give it to me. That's mine.
That's mine. Well,
For
if
any
you
of you
guys,
Apex fans out there, you
Oh.
understand what we're talking about.
I mean, Revenge of the Sith by itself is a long movie.
It's a pretty long movie, yeah. You don't realize like it's almost like 3 hours. Like when I think of a 3 hour movie, I think of Lord of the Rings. But no, it's a long movie.
Some of us haven't seen that.
Shut up, Jaden. To be fair, I do watch a D&D show which runs about 3 or 4 hours every episode. Cough cough Critical Role. For any other Critical Role fans out there.
How many? Yeah. What's the population here? What are we getting? Gonna run like a census or something?
We should run a session. Comment below if you are a Critical Role fan, because everyone should be, because it's a great show. And we will talk about D&D at a later time.
I
but
think
don't
we
even
can
have
put
time to
polls on our
start.
video.
You
which-
can actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could
At
do that,
different-
You guys are watching
Yo.
technology.
But then
Like,
again, how
what
many people
fan
are
are
gonna
you?
make it this far?
KOTOR, Force Unleashed, Critical Role, Fallen Order.
We should actually ask our billions of viewers these questions.
A
Oh,
hundred
yeah,
thousand.
like,
Should
our-
If
like
we were-
would
if
you
we
like
were-
to see
if
a
we
Gowan
were-
Merrick
If we were live streaming this, I mean, we'd have at least 100,000 watching. I mean,
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, you keep thinking that. 100,000 of nothing.
am I right?
Got him.
Just
over
got
1,000
ourselves
more and 1 billion more on the way.
Mace Windy.
Did none of you just get my reference?
Screw you.
It wasn't one of the rings, Jaden.
So when are you gonna watch Parasite, Justin?
I think he should watch it with us, and then we can talk about it on said podcast.
Said
We
podcast.
just need to watch Blade Runner and Parasite on Cosme together. I wish we could watch it in the same flipping house, but nope.
Which
Given, I think
feel
in
like
2 or
over
3
summer.
weeks that might be possible. Plus,
I
we
f-
have
yeah.
summer.
I say we give it some time. I'll wait.
All right,
'Cause-
well, it's been an hour. We're getting off topic, so we're going to talk about this off the podcast. But if there's anyone listening, you guys have a great day.
I love you. Thank you.
And remember,
Yeah, all our fans, we love you. All our fans are
Our
that 0
500,000.
number of subscribers. Or
So this is how democracy
the 3
dies.
subscribers
With
of us.
applause.
In all seriousness, though, if there is someone watching this and you have made it this far, and we've actually managed to keep your interest up to this point, we have done our job right.
And spread the word and tell us why we suck.
At least
Yeah,
something, right?
Give us ideas to what to talk
It's a
about.
starting point. Okay,
'Cause
we
this
know we're
isn't
never
just
gonna
about
make it.
Star Wars, but we do love Star Wars.
We do love Star
Most
Wars.
of our listing is a Star Wars stuff.
It's
but
Star Wars.
We'll talk about other things. Don't worry.
My name's Jaeden. We got Justin. We got Ryan here. We are the
My name is
Palmers.
Ryan. You may follow me on Twitter at Ryan_Bowman.
You may
BOH
follow me
Henry.
at Twitter at Tuler_Jaeden.
Most of our Twitter is mostly just bashing Jaden lately because he hasn't seen all the rings.
But that's not what it always is, because I am an imperfect human. Anyways,
I'm
And
currently
Justin-
looking up my Twitter username, so please hold. You can follow me at Scout_J7 at Twitter.
okay.
I forgot what it was, and because I have most of my stuff is Scout J, but they're all like different because sometimes it's taken. I'm like, okay,
Cow J
Whatever.
number 66.
Scout J 1,
Scout
2,
J
3, 4, 7,
I still
66.
need to see
Scout J order
Scout J 1 through
69.
6.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your day.
We're the Palmeters. Good night.